Greeting Local 2627 sisters and brothers. Today is Monday, June 10th. And I have a couple of things to remind you, and I have a couple of things to talk to you about. I'm going to speak fast, which you know I'm capable of doing, because YouTube only allows you 10 minutes. I just wasted 15 seconds telling you that. But anyway, let's talk about what's happening in the city. Let's talk about this vote. Let's talk about this June 12th rally. The June 12th rally is very important because the New York City unions do not have a contract. The contracts have expired anywhere from 3 to 4.5 years. Now, the mayor says there's no money for contracts. The mayor even told us if we say that we won't go for retroactivity for the years that we didn't have a contract, he's willing to sit down and talk to us about it. Well, let me tell you something. If you talk about the cell phone towers, the revenue from that, you're talking about the billboards, the revenue from that, which, by the way, DC37 pointed out these things. If you're talking about the amount of money from the red light cameras, if you're talking about the amount of money from the theaters, you're talking about the amount of money from, what else? The list just goes on and on and on. There's revenue coming in. We've lost 13,000 members since Bloomberg has been there. Bloomberg agreed with two term limits until he became mayor, and then he needed another term, so he overturned it, and then as soon as he became mayor, he turned it back to 2 years again. Why? The question is, he's extending contracts anywhere from 9 to 15 years. After he's out of office, he's extending these contracts. Why? This mayor has increased his wealth by more than $22 billion in the time that he became mayor. His salary is only $1 a year. The movie shoots, the TV shoots. I mean, the list just goes on and on with revenues coming in from the city. He's given more concession contracts than all the other mayors of the city of New York combined. Concession contracts, what are they? That's when you give a contractor profits from whatever they built for you. Like the pool out there in Flushing, Queens. This is crazy. It's the costliest project in the city of New York. The theater tickets, he got a honorary Tony last night for his contribution to Broadway, to the theaters, and which is another thing. The theaters are up, of course, like everything else, made more money than they've ever made. And they gave him this. Why? Do you know what an orchestra seat at a theater costs today? Over $500. So who can afford this? His friends. This is grimy. No retroactivity in our contracts. There's only one mayoral candidate who's talking about retroactivity, and that's our controller, John Liu. And that's why DC37 is supporting him, and that's why 2627 is supporting him. He's been in the forefront of all of these things. He stood toe to toe with the mayor on city time, nightcaps, this Verizon contract that wants to go to the 911 system, by the way, which is $1.3 billion over budget. As you can see, I'm excited about this stuff because this stuff is making me crazy. I don't see how you could not vote for John Liu. You haven't had a contract for more than 3 years, 2627, and you have to think about who you're going to vote for? Moving right along, eligibility verification audit, which should have came in the mail to you from OLR, which is the Office of Labor Relations. They want to verify the people that you have on your as people who are going to receive part of your health benefits, in particular your children. You need to give them verification. If you can't give the correct verification, then you're probably the person that you're trying to get on your insurance has no business being there in the first place. Fill out the documentation and send it in, or else that person or those people are going to be dropped. Another reminder, if you get arrested, your fingerprints have been taken. They take you into the police department, take your fingerprints, take your picture or something like that, write documentation on you. The police department is going to see that you are a city employee, and they're going to notify New York City Department of Investigations. Your agency is going to find out. If you get arrested, and this is all confidential information, tell the person at your agency you have to via some type of writing. Not tell them by voice. Memorialize it. Send them a letter. Better yet, send them an email where you have an email track of this. Every agency has somebody where you notify of these things. You need to tell them this because you know what? If you don't, you're going to probably lose your job. This is very, very important. So please, if you get arrested, let them know. Please be at this June 12th rally. Please. The 2627 scholarship, I want to remind you again, the documentation, the rules, the regs, the explanation is on our website. The form is on our website. If your child or your dependent qualifies for this, fill in the application and send it into 2627. The drawing will be by lottery on September 3rd, which will the third Tuesday in September. I'm sorry, and our general membership in September. Next general membership meeting, by the way, will be at 216 West 14th Street. And remember, we have to nominate and elect one trustee. This is very, but let me get back. I got to go back to June 12th. You have to be there. This is about you. You have no contract, and they're trying to screw you. The price of the subway, how much has it went up in the last 3 or 4 years? How much have the tolls went up in the last 3 or 4 years? How much has your water bill went up in the last 3 or 4 years? Of course, they're blaming the water bill on us. They're saying because of the cost of unions. How could it be the cost of unions? You have not given us a contract. June 12th, use annual leave for an hour or 2 hours to be there at 4 p.m. This is important for your livelihoods, for your longevity, for your pension. Be there. Good and Welfare. Greg Hires, which is one of the reporters for the PEP, the Public Employee Press, who is also a member of 2627. His wife is recovering from surgery, and of course our empathy and our love and our wishes for a speedy recovery all comes out from 2627. Until I speak to you next week, have a quality day. And remember, you gotta vote. And this primary, you gotta vote this primary. You gotta make sure John Liu gets elected. Talk to you soon.